What are you passionate about? Are you happy? Are you really happy? Do you trust your own instinct? What is your perception of God? Are you the best version of yourself? This is Conversations We Never Had, hosted by Wendy. And I'm so excited to be sitting down with Lesego Legobane. Who is Lesego?
I hate that question. I really do. Yeah. I like to think of myself first and foremost as human, because I think a lot of us kind of like overlook it. We tend to let what we do overwhelm us, and we forget that we're human. So firstly, I'd like to think of myself as human. Lesego is a generous person. I'm Pisces. Yes. I'm very moody. I'm way too generous. I give too much, a lot more than I should. I have a problem. I don't know how to stop. But also, I think who I am also goes hand in hand with what I do. Okay. Right? So I'm a published photographer. Yeah. I am a plus-size blogger, a body positive. I don't want to say activist because I don't do much activation of it, but more of a body positive speaker. Yes. And I said a blogger, plus-size modeling here and there. Yeah. Yeah, I think basically that's wraps it. Yeah.
And what are you grateful for at the moment?
I'm grateful for life, for being alive. You know, I think that's one thing that we take for granted. We lose people all the time, and I think only then it hits you that you're not here forever. Yeah. So you have to be appreciative of every moment of your life, and that is what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for waking up every day, and I make sure that each day I commit to it, and I do it, I go about it to the best of my ability. So I'm very, very grateful for life right now.
Yeah. So it's life.
Yeah.
I don't know, because this is the argument that I usually have with my mom. I'm like, I am grateful for life, but for me, it's not too much of something that I do treasure that much, because I feel like, yes, we don't know what's going to happen after death.
That's my
I think we fear death, but I mean, in the way that I understand death and understand life is, we go to a better place. And why are we so afraid?
I don't know. It's not even a matter of being afraid. It's not knowing. I don't know what happens. So I better live in what I know currently, which is life. So that's just the way that I view it. And I don't know what happens. Is there life after death? Is there no life? But I know that there's life right now, and that's the best that I can do. Deal with what I have currently.
And what do you believe about the universe, about life itself, about death? About, religion as well, because I think it's almost one thing. What do you believe?
With religion, it's a bit sensitive because, one, I feel like it's man-made and mostly predominantly white-made. Like, it's something that was used to control our black society, and I'm not pro-religion, but I'm pro-God. Okay. I believe in God, but I don't believe in a system that is set up by a human being. I mean, I feel like it's something that some people need it in order to guide them for their lives to do well, and whatever the case might be for their morality and everything. But for me, I just feel like it's a social construct. And I was raised in a religious home, like not overly religious, but I was meant to go to church, believe in the Bible and all of those things. And growing up to be myself, I realized that, this is a structural thing. This is something that was used into slavery, into just like white supremacy and all of that, and to control like the black masses. So it's not something that I'm too crazy in, but I believe in a God. Okay. I believe that there's a God. It's not some guy sitting in the clouds.
What is the idea of God then?
My idea of God would be, God is energy. We are all gods. I'm God, you God. God lives in all of us. So I believe all of us are gods. It's energy. It's everything that exists in the world comes from energy. So that has to be God. I'm an energy, you're an energy, so we are all gods. I mean, that is my belief in God. So do good because you are a God. Yeah, I believe.
And I mean, I think we share sort of the same belief, because what I believe is you're a God, I'm a God, and we all gods. And when we come together, we then become that one energy that says it's God. Yeah. So I think we do believe in the same.
So we believe in God.
Yes. And how do you keep yourself fit, like in terms of your spirituality side of things, your body, and as well as your mind?
Crazy, because I only started getting into my spirituality last year on vacation with my family. My cousins and I actually having a lit moment. We like sipping, smoking, having a good time.
I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah. And that is when I actually became very spiritual. My cousin Boyd, she is freaking amazing. So we were just speaking about spirituality, and she just defined so many things that I didn't understand. And at that point, I had felt like I had lost a connection with my spiritual side. And through that moment, she got me into meditation, into yoga. And since then, I've been in it. And it's my moment to be grounded and to connect with the universe and my energy, and to just like, it literally grounds me, and that's what it is. And that's how I connect with my spiritual side, meditation and yoga.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Who are you currently close to?
I'm close to my mom and my best friend, and I was telling you that it's crazy because I have such a deeper connection with my mother in my 20s than I did in my teen years, because you know, when you're going through puberty, a lot is going on in your mind, and you kind of take for granted the role that your mother plays in your life. And my mom's a single parent, and she is literally the most beautiful soul ever. And I am so deeply in love with my mom. I'm more than love her, I'm in love with her. She is my ultimate soulmate, the love of my life. And yeah, that's how I feel about her. I'm just happy with our relationship and where we are. She legit is my other best friend.
Speaking about your mom, what if you had an opportunity to write a letter to her? What would you include in that letter?
I write letters to my mom every single day.
Really?
I'll send her like long
Can you
messages.
share?
And then like long messages.
Yeah.
I think it's just like letting her know that I love her. Because as a black child, I think we don't tend to tell our parents that we love them as often as we should. Because being emotionally vulnerable in a black home is not something that we see, you know. I think even like you get some people who have never seen their parents being intimate, and these people are married. So intimacy in a black family is something that's mostly overlooked. So I think more than anything, the subject of the love letters being I love you, and her knowing that I truly do genuinely love her.
And like you just reminded me of my own mother, and just how I don't tell her that I love her.
I think it's crazy. We don't tell our parents. I think when I started telling my mom I loved her, she'd call me and be like, "Oh, dude, what's happening? What's you dying? What's going on? I just really, really love you." And I'm doing it with most of my family members because I don't know how much time I have left with them. The other day I sent my uncle a message randomly like, "Hey, I hope you're good. I really love you." He calls me, he's like, "What's his name? I'm gonna fuck somebody." I just genuinely, you know, care about you.
Yeah. And speaking about, you spoke about a little bit about vulnerability. What does that mean to you?
I think being vulnerable is just being in a state whereby you can easily be influenced through your mental state, physically or emotionally, and just being attacked when you are in that space. It's just being in a position of being emotionally, physically, or mentally influenced.
And do you, I mean, I think, but this is my personal thinking in terms of how I just observe you. You're very vulnerable. Like, you show your vulnerability. It's not, I'm very vulnerable. Like, when you meet me the first time, you would know me. I'm an open book.
Yeah,
you know my problems. You know what I'm going through.
I need a caliber.
I know. A lot of people say that.
No, I really do. I need to, because I also feel like I'm way too open. There's certain things I'll get home and I'll be like,
I shouldn't have said that.
Was I supposed to say
that?
I
shouldn't have said that.
I wish something could happen. And I was meditating about it the other day and asking God, like, yo, dude, every time I'm about to just blab on, just pinch me or something. I need to cut it. So I'm like, you do the same.
You will know me. You will know my problems. First thing, by the time you walk out, you know that Wendy is like this. Wendy's going through this.
I'm such an open book.
But do you think it's a bad thing? But because maybe sometimes people can ride on that.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I always say that I don't easily get depressed or stressed or whatever because I tend to talk a lot.
Yes.
But if I have a problem, I don't care what time it is, I'm finding somebody to call and tell the problem. And I think talking helps a lot with that. It's bittersweet. There's both goodness and badness to it. Like the oversharing tends to be bad. Like my mom has been teaching me that some things you have to keep to yourself, because especially when it comes to things that are meant to happen in your life, like you've just gotten a new job or a campaign that's coming out, because not everyone is out for good, looking out for you, you know, not everyone wants the best for you. So I think there's both good and bad to it. Yeah.
No, for sure. Wow. Like, you've just made me feel like I'm okay.
Yeah,
like,
no, there's nothing wrong with you. I feel like,
it's okay.
Yeah, we're all living the same life.
It's okay. Which situation has brought emotional pain to you?
I think it depends. There's been like a lot of things that will happen in your life. Some will be relationships, some will be friendships, some will be social things that have happened, and there's quite a lot, and I'm not one to dwell on things, so I deal with things and I cry and I get over it, because I feel like if I tend to dwell over it, it consumes me, it becomes part of my life, it becomes who I am. So for me it's good to release and let go. A lot of things have happened, and I think one that's played out that everybody has seen play out in my life has been cyberbullying for the way that I look. And I think with that, for the longest time it didn't affect me, because I always say that at some point I was my biggest enemy, and there's nothing that anyone can say that I've never said to myself. And I've dealt with that, I've forgiven myself. So if anybody says anything harsh about me, it goes in one ear and out the other. And with also that, having to learn that most times when people are cruel towards me, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's just a reflection of who they are. And misery really loves company. Miserable people love it when everyone else is miserable. So just probably the cyberbullying and being attacked on my physical attributes, which is something that I choose not to change. I choose to accept myself as I am and to celebrate the individual that I am, because I believe that I was created the way that I was for a reason. I believe in destiny. I believe my life was written out for me before I was even here. So what other people think or view me as, absolutely none of my business at all.
If you was to sit down with your dad, what would you say to him?
I don't think about my dad. I really don't. Like, it's one thing that I never ever in my life think about. This is another thing that I'm grateful to my mother for. Creating a space for me that doesn't feel like anything or anyone's missing. And I think that's very powerful for one person to do that, for a home to feel homely and complete, to a point whereby I don't think about needing an extra person. So I don't think about my dad. I don't have a dad. Like, that's just the way. I have a mother, and that's where it ends. I don't think about him. I don't think about what I would say, or it's something that never ever really crosses my mind.
I have issues with my dad.
Really?
We have deep issues, and I don't think they're fixable, because like, I don't think we think the same way. Once I propose or once I become a good person towards him, he doesn't really
appreciate.
Yeah, and I think the only time I can let go of the pain, I think it's pain, is forgiving. And the process of forgiving for me is just a bit, too much.
I also don't necessarily believe in the concept of forgiveness. I know a lot of people like, you need it for closure. It's not a real thing. I feel like you don't owe certain people forgiveness. Forgiveness it's up to you, but honestly I feel like it's not something that's necessary or needed. There's certain people you can be mad at forever, and that's okay, and not think about them, and not even see the need to forgive them. I don't necessarily believe in forgiveness all the time, and I feel like if you don't want to do it, you don't ever have to do it, unless you come to a place whereby you feel you really need it for your peace and your serenity.
I think it only happened this year, where I was just like, what is forgiveness? What does it mean to me? And for me, it's letting go of the idea of what could have been. And just saying, you know what, it is what it is.
And nothing you can do.
What is your idea of forgiveness? How do you but you did say that you don't really.
I'm not crazy about forgiveness. I feel also it's one of those things. A lot of people will take advantage of you when you do certain things, because they feel like this person won't be able to move on with their lives until they forgive me. I'm not too crazy. I'm honestly not crazy about forgiveness. It's overrated. It really is. If somebody does me wrong and I don't have it in my heart to ever have them in my life again, I don't have to forgive them for me to be at peace. I just like, you screwed me over, and that's where it ends with me and you. I don't want you in my life, and that's that. Yeah. But if I'm not easily an angry person,
Yeah.
a lot of people will do me dirty and I'll still accept them back into my life. And that's also one of the things that I hate about myself, that I easily let people do stuff and I easily let them back into my lives. And also I think that also makes me a better person than they are. I believe in karma. I believe whatever you do to me, 100 times worse is coming back to you, and that's yours.
I mean,
that has nothing to do with me.
It goes back to saying we are all gods.
Definitely.
What you do to me, you have done to yourself. Because we are
That's
one thing.
absolutely true. That's it. I believe in karma, so I'll have you back in my life. The universe will deal with you. I don't have power to deal with you. The universe will take care of you. What you're doing to me, you're doing to yourself. Even worse.
You've done it to yourself.
Yeah,
I've experienced that.
Truly.
Cool. When do you feel the most beautiful?
I don't know. Also, beauty is such a weird thing. Beauty for me, I know it's very, very corny to say like it's an inward thing. I feel mostly beautiful when I'm around people that appreciate me.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with my physical appearance.
Yes.
It's just me being me. Like when I'm around those that make me happy and those that appreciate me and those that let me be myself.
Yeah.
Those that don't need to see me looking dolled up to appreciate me. I
Yes.
think that's when I feel at most beautiful. Not like, I actually hate makeup and dressing up. If it were up to me, I'd be in Uggs and sweaters all the time. So for me, beauty is not ideally a physical thing. It's more of what I feel. I think how others see me, that's when then we're defining structural beauty. When people will run into you and be like, oh wow, your hair's so pretty, you're so pretty.
Yes.
But for me, I feel most beautiful when I'm around those that make me feel important and valued and worthy.
Yeah.
And that's when I feel at most beautiful.
Yeah. I think it works because I've seen, like, for an instance, it's not that deep, but when I walk into a store, a clothing store, whatever store, and I don't look like, you know, I don't look the part, I don't look like, I don't look that amazing, I'm treated differently.
Of course.
Because
Of
people
course.
love beauty.
That's what I'm saying. That's when
It's not
other people's things.
Yes.
I think, and that's how we mostly, that's when we get it wrong, how we tend to value our beauty. Like how other people see us and how other people compliment us. And this is my other issue with social media. Like we are literally, we curate ourselves. Like you create a persona that you want others to see, and you tend to get a lot of good things being said about you. You post something, oh, you're so pretty, oh, and it's so easy to get consumed into that.
Sure.
To be self-centered and to be self-absorbed into that. And you now start defining beauty as certain things, as me having a certain hairstyle, me having certain makeup, me having certain clothing. And this creates a lot of self-esteem issues. So I struggled with it a lot while growing up, but I'm just at that place where I'm content with who I am and the way that I look. So most times I'll even go to events without makeup and my friends will be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I feel comfortable like this. I'm okay like this. Why do I have to look how society tells me I should? Yeah, beauty is it's so absurd. Yeah.
What is your idea of love?
I think love has to be conditional. You cannot love people unconditionally. So my idea of love is being able to call out the people that we care about the most when they're not doing the right things, because I feel like people have this idea of unconditional love where they love you even when you're a crappy person, where they can't even tell you that, look, this is not okay, you can't do that. So my definition of love would be being kind towards one another, but also being able to call out one another when we're on the wrong track.
And how do you deal with negative energy? Because it has really, we've seen it rolling up into your life.
I'm very protective of my energy.
Okay.
I am so protective. The minute I sense negative vibes, I'm out. I dip out immediately. I'm so protective of my energy because it's my sense of peace. If my energy is not right, nothing in my life is going to go right. So negative energy, how I deal with it, by letting anyone who brings it into my life out of my life.
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is losing my mother. It's so scary. My mom is my entire life, and the thought of one day not having her in my life, it scares the shit out of me. I am scared. Like that's the one thing, I try not to think about it a lot, but it's my biggest fear because I just don't know how I would go on with my life afterwards. So it's my biggest fear. I hate thinking about it, but life as it is, we're gonna lose people, and not even my mom, but just losing somebody close to me. I've only had one close death and I was still young, but it still affected me so much when I lost my grandmother. And it was just too much, and I haven't lost any close person. So I think losing somebody close to me creeps the hell out of me, especially my mom. Like, it terrifies me.
Are you afraid of death?
I'm not afraid of dying.
Okay.
Personally, I'm just afraid of losing people that I love.
Yeah.
Me, I'm cool. I'm like, if I die tomorrow, I am happy with what I've done with my life. And I live in the moment and I do everything as it is. I'm not afraid to die. I'm just afraid of those that I love dying.
And what do you think happens when you die? What is the process of dying, and as well as what is your idea of where do you go?
It's weird because I believe in ancestors, but I don't believe in life after death. It's such a weird thing.
Okay.
I believe that life is life, and when you're dead, it's over, it's gone. The end of story. There's no afterlife. You don't come back as something or somebody else. That's that. It's the end of the chapter for you. That's my. But then again, there's spirits and all those things.
Yes.
So it's weird because I can't even really explain it. Like, how do I believe in spirits, but then I also believe that. Yeah, so I honestly, I don't think that there's anything that happens after I die. We'll see when I get there.
What is the biggest lesson you've learned in your whole entire life?
People are always going to have something to say, good or bad, no matter what you're doing in your life. And like we said earlier on, most times it's not even about you. And once you understand that other people's actions do not affect you, once you understand and grasp the idea that people do things because of what they're going through and not necessarily because of you. So I think that has been my greatest lesson in life. Just not minding what the next person has to say about me, knowing myself completely and knowing that it doesn't matter who says what, it just doesn't affect me. It might hurt a little bit, it might sting here and there, but it does not affect me and it does not define who I am.
What really gets to you?
When the people around me don't understand me at times, and when they judge me for certain things because they don't get it, that really hurts me. I don't really get hurt by people that I don't love. It doesn't faze me. It might annoy me, but hurt me, it really doesn't. I get hurt by if my best friend says something and I just feel like it's just, you shouldn't have said that. Those are the little things that hurt me when I fight with my mom, just the sensitive little things from the people that I truly care about, when they don't understand me, when they judge me, when they say mean things. Those are the things that hurt me.
Thank you so much, Lesego, for making time to share your story and share your truth with us. I really, really appreciate it, and I've learned on this topic.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a beautiful experience.
Thank you so much.
Deep in our souls, that make us who we are. All the pain, the things that bring us down, the darkness and the light that we carry. Conversations we never had.